Wow, what a way to wrap up the year. Finally, finally, we've actually gotten to the tail end of 2025. And it is officially the right time for us to say goodbye, 2025. Because in just few hours, just few hours, we'll be shouting Happy New Year. And I remember how time flies, it was just around the corner, few months ago, we actually screamed and shouted Happy New Year into 2025. And of course, we've just wrapped up 2025. And what a way to say thank you, God. What a way to say thank you, Jesus, for giving us the privilege, to be counted among the living. We're not better than those who are not here again, but of course, we're here because we still enjoy the grace of God. And of course, we still have to fulfill the purpose, that God created us for. And it's really, a very wonderful time where we get to reflect, review, reassess and flashback, think about how, faithful God has been to us, from January up until December, today being 31st of December. You can remember as I'm talking to you now of a particular situation or even more situations that you felt that that situation could have consumed you, or how would you have actually sorted it, or how would you come out of this particular one. And before you knew it, you came out and you're still here. I'm still here. God is still here with us. Okay, so it's actually a very wonderful one. And officially, just like I told, my guest in the studio, this is, my last presentation in 2025. The next presentation I will be doing will be in 2026. And what a way to actually say, congratulations to you and I. And thank you for being a wonderful, audience, viewers, to us at Voice of the People Television. Thank you for being a wonderful, audience to my program, People's Voice here. So we're really grateful. And it's always a good thing that I'm always meeting you and you're always meeting me here. All right, so welcome on board. It is People's Voice, where season stories shape the narrative. And usually we take a particular topic, we dissect it, that is, making rounds, in the country, sparking conversation across the nation. But for today, and this particular edition will be for today, the 1st of January and the 2nd of January, which happens to start today. And all we'll be discussing is about a review, okay? So resilience and reforms, Nigerians 2025 in review. We want to do a review about every of the dramatic situation that is happening in the country. We'll be talking about politics. We'll be talking about, all of the implementations, the reforms. We'll be talking about, economy. We're talking about every sector, everything that has actually affected us as a people in this nation, both the good and the bad, the ups and downs. All right, so it will be a roundtable conversation today, and that's all we're doing for today, tomorrow, and next. Okay, so I believe you are all set for that particular one. Join the conversation with expert insight and seasoned perspective. Of course, share your thoughts with us. I am Xavier Udo. 2025 was a pivotal year. Of course, I'm using the word was, or because we're wrapping it up already. It was actually marked by intense political maneuvering, persistent economic challenges, escalating insecurity, and of course, incremental reforms under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. The nation grapped with deepened corruption scandals, widespread social unrest driven by hardship, and of course, governance failures across sectors. We had several issues, happening to us while economic indicators showed sign of stabilization, such as easing inflation and increased oil production. Insecurity and political instability dominated headlines. Of course, you would agree with me that if we want to take it from that of the politics to corruption, social issues, government policies, economy, education, the oil sector, the insecurity, the military actions, and other sectors. We had different situations, that could make you and I, debate, and we talk about it all and all. And of course, we cannot finish everything today. So we'll be looking into that particular one. And of course, for you to join the conversation, kindly call the number 090-447-32605, 090-447-32605. follow us on social media at VOP TV Live. You can use the hashtag People's Voice on VOP TV. And of course, on YouTube, we're Voice of the People TV. Kindly hit the subscribe button, and together we can make our voices heard. It is time for us to go on a quick break. As soon as we return, I'll be bringing in my guests, and of course, we'll be going straight to the conversation. Resilience and Reform, Nigeria's 2025 in Review. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned, please. Welcome back to the program. It is still People's Voice on VOP TV. Yes, we're now being joined by Mr. Elvis Elimihele, a journalist, political and public affairs analyst, a member of the Guard of Public Affairs Analysts of Nigeria. You're welcome on board, sir.
Happy New Year.
Right. That's true. Happy New Year, because we won't be seeing again. Happy New Year, Mr. Elvis.
We're almost there. We thank God. It's kept us just thus far.
Sincerely. You know, and officially, you and I, we're actually doing our last program in 2025.
Yeah, we are doing the last program. Before we meet again, it's a new year.
Oh, glory be to God. And of course, I have in the studio with me complaining, you know, that rice was, you know, going up. Complaining, you know, that rice was, you know, going up and up and up. Not like now that, you know, rice, actually, the price of rice dropped. You know, inflation started with us in December. And how did we actually cope? And how did we even maneuver as regards to inflation? And don't forget that as at the time that we're complaining of the surge, you know, the hike in prices, the government were actually telling us that the policies they were, you know, making were better, and everything would suddenly become normal. So if we want to talk about inflation in Nigeria, has it dropped? For all of the reforms they've done, is there any
maybe,
you know, I don't know. I want you to let me know, is there any change, or is it better now?
I think their own definition of inflation is different from the definition of inflation that we know, because it's like it's the government that is making more while the people are making less. So to them, inflation is dropping and the economy is booming, you know, because the allocations to the state and local government increased. So their own is doing well. But to an ordinary Nigerian on the street, it's a more loss of more money, more tax, less money in the pocket, increase in the price of goods and services. And that is that. It's even, every time we talk about rice, then we talk about one or two things. There are so many things. I'm telling you, there are so many things across. We have been limited to the staple food, which is rice. Our own staple food, our traditional food, in fact, it has not come down. It has not. So if the price of rice that is coming from abroad is coming down, then we should ask government, because this one is coming from abroad most of the time, and the price is a little bit coming down. So we should ask them, why? Are you easing your tax on it, or you are investing in production of rice outside? Or maybe some countries are giving you rice as a gift to share for your people, because the one we plant in our own country, our own staple food that we know did not come down. We have the gari, rice, gari, yam, beans, even price of chicken.
Okay, fish. Mr. Elvis, let me get your take as regards to what Mr. Lawal is talking about as regards to the inflation.
Thank you, Savior. Let me first of all congratulate Nigerians that this 2025 Christmas and even the New Year, we're about to enter 2026. We did not record stampede deaths. Remember what is this time last year, what happened in this nation? We had the Anambra stampede, we had the Catholic stampede in Abuja, and we had the one in Ibadan.
Yeah, Ibadan as well.
So these were so.
There was one in Lagos. It happened in Lagos when the custom officers.
That one happened earlier.
Okay.
Happened around October.
The
December one are the one I'm telling you, exactly this time last year, because we were buying a bag of rice at 120, 130 per bag. So, but this year, we thank God, at least Nigerians did not die all in the name of Christmas rice. and at least the Christmas is gone, and we are looking up to New Year. And I know Nigerians will not die because of New Year rice. The reservation we have for Christmas, we'll manage it up for the New Year. But be that as it may, Savior, you will also agree with me that Well, we saw some abracadabra in the government economy. We don't really know how it came about. They said they did, I don't know what they said they did something that brought down the inflation. What they call that? An economic term they used. And they brought down the inflation from 34 point something to.
Yeah.
So whether it's a rebased, they rebased it or something. They said they rebased it and the inflation dropped. And the president was basking in the euphoria that before the end of this year, inflation was going to get to like 15%, that was going to reduce it to 15. I think we saw 14 point something now, which means yes, actually after the rebasing, the inflation dropped. But unfortunately, inflation actually dropped, and we also saw it in some areas. But in some areas, it's not affecting Nigerians. Yes, at this time last year, a bag of rice was about 120, 130. But this year, you could see a bag of rice 65, 70, thereabouts. Good. Beans has also come down to some extent. Gari, it's about the cheapest of all now because I'm a farmer. I've actually left my farm now because the cassava is not, the price has not come up at all. So we saw that, but unfortunately, the transport fare refused to come down. Then vegetable oil to make that rice, rice is just the.
Rice can't cook itself.
It can't cook itself.
Yes, we have gas there. We've not even talked about it.
I'm still going to the energy. I just mentioned it. So I don't know what is happening to the gas, the transportation, vegetable, all the condiments. None of them is coming down. I don't know what is happening. So I think we'll have to ask the federal government, now that you are talking about 14 point something in inflation, what happened to all these ones? Because by the time you put rice in the fire, you have to gather this other condiment to make the stew before the rice become food. And unfortunately, those other condiments are not coming down. So I don't know what the federal government will have to explain to us in this.
Maybe Mr. Akundaye would actually.
Because some people say,
I even have something to say. You know why? Because when you talk about inflation, I don't know how you calculate your inflation. Because it keep giving me a headache. If a price of something is 100 naira and it increased to 200 naira, is that not 100%?
Of course.
Now, if a bag of rice is 40 naira and increased to 120 naira, what is the percentage of inflation in that one? Is it that's 100 plus percent?
Percentage, yes.
So that means the inflation went 200% upward. I mean 100% increase. The inflation is 100%. But the one they are telling me that is 37, is 27, I don't understand how you get your own. Because, yes now, this is 100% increment. That's inflation now. So if rice is 40,000 and it went up to 120, that means that is about 100 and something percent increase in inflation. And you are telling me it's 30 something. If it's 30 something, it should be like 60,000 or 70. You get what I'm saying? That is 40 something percent. But this inflation we are talking about, I don't know where they get your statistics. Because I can see inflation in Nigeria to be more than 100% upward. And they are telling us 30 something. Okay, look at gas. How much is gas now? A kilo is like 1,000 plus. Before it was like 700 plus. Is that not close to 100%? So where are you getting where is the government getting their 37, 27? Okay. I don't understand the calculation.
Let me ask you. In January, the president signed about 4 tax reform bills, into law, of course, including the Nigerian Tax Act. And we saw that every time we hear them talk, they are always saying that all of their reforms, is for the best interest of Nigerians, and Nigerians will soon see it. And whenever someone uses a word like, this particular thing I did for you, I did it for your own good, and you soon start seeing it, you soon start enjoying it. Mr. Elvis, this is the last day in 2025. So I'd like to ask you, for all of the reforms that the president have been doing with his government, have we started seeing it?
We have not. But there's always a caveat. They always tell us that we should exercise patience.
This is a full year now.
It's a full year. They always tell us that the gains will come with time, that we should tighten our bet when they don't.
In 365 days?
When they don't tighten their own. So I think I would say employ us, Savior, using this your program, that maybe we'll tighten our bet more as we are entering the new year.
Since our company has reduced, so it's easier to tighten the bet.
Yes, as we are entering the new year 2026.
Mr. Elvis, there will be a time that we wouldn't have what to tie anymore.
Yes, but I think
Because if you are saying tie your belt, we keep tying, and at some point,
yeah, that's the time.
don't be any stomach to tie again.
I think that's the time Nigeria will wake up to their responsibilities. We still have, there's still some kind of flesh or fat that we are still managing with the bet. By the time the bet itself is no longer, the elasticity has gotten to a level that you can no longer cope. That's the time Nigerians will realize where we are. We have not realized because as it is now, last week, by this time last week Wednesday, we were in the studio, we're talking about hold up because Nigeria were doing last minute shopping for Christmas.
Yeah.
So we could still shop. Then today we are still doing the last minute shopping for New Year. A time is coming when this may not be available, but that's when we will now realize that the bet has actually started entering our flesh, and then we'll start asking questions from the
Let's
government.
move away from that of the reforms for now. Of course, it is still going to surface again in all of in some of the months.
Yeah.
But since we are still in January, don't forget that talking about corruption, the U.S. entered an agreement to repatriate $52.88 million in forfeited corruption proceeds to Nigeria, highlighting ongoing international efforts to recover looted assets. Till now, I need to ask the both of you, till now, what has been going on with all of the loot that we get from that side? Of course, for that of blessed memory, former President Buhari's time, Malami is answering for Abacha loot now. But for I'm talking about 2025 now, for all of the loot that the US, European nations have released to Nigerians, to Nigerian government, what has happened to all of this money?
That's why if Americans will listen to me, I will tell them to please not to repatriate any money again. Any money you have for Nigeria that is looted, just open a sovereign account with the World Bank and be saving the money there for us, pending when Nigeria will be normal, because Nigeria is not normal at all. You know why? Because the same money will find its way back into that same abroad that it came from. That's what we've been facing since. You know how many Abacha loot has been sent back to Nigeria? And they look at what is happening about Malami. Across, but that's why you see all of them now, it's easy for them to decamp in order to protect their back.
It's even surprising for me now, because that of Malami's case, how can you arrest me, arrest my son, arrest my wife?
Because
so it's not a family business.
A family business.
No, it's up. Okay, look at what many of them do. Okay, look at the one they talk about, the FCT minister that allocated land to his son.
And so now nothing is happening.
And you think another government will come in?
He has answered you. He said, "Are his son not grown enough to have land in Nigeria? Are they not Nigerians?" He has answered.
Why do those lands?
I don't know.
No, he has given you the answer now, but another government will come up one day and then they will look at it, will now probe all these things, and they will now see being maybe pick up again. Because one thing is this: you ask, what is the income of that child to have that kind of wealth?
Let's not deceive ourselves.
Okay.
Those repatriation you made mention of, those
Millions,
billions of naira are also in the hands of the people that are flocking around the presidency. Now, if Malami was not picked up, we thought Malami served under a Messiah who told Nigeria was coming to fight corruption. That Messiah now, if he was alive, we would have been asking him, you know how many of his ministers that are facing FCC now? Some of the biggest fraud, we saw it now in Buhari's administration for 8 years. Emefiele is a big one. Malamina is a big one.
Very
Remember his Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Adiza, what do you call her? Remember that woman? Remember his own nephew, Hadis Rika, the one that was aviation minister, who painted an aircraft a day to the end of the his administration, flew into Nigeria and call it Nigeria Airways. How many can we mention? So don't bother looking at those money that came in. Those money that came in like, oh, they've
Mr. Ivy said, don't bother looking at those money that came in.
We have seen it over the years. But maybe at the end of this administration, we can now open up this January 1st this review and say, okay, that money we were asking for on the 31st of December 2025
Yes.
have now been found in one of the minister's coffers.
Yes.
It's possible because we have started seeing Malami's owner, himself, his son, and his wife. It's become a family trend. So that's when we'll talk more about this money that came in, because sometimes we keep saying, if this money comes in, why don't you tie it to a project? And say that loot that came, it was used to finance so.
Like
When we
that,
see
Calabar
you
road,
tie it to a project, Nigerians will see it. Unfortunately, it comes in and it's reluted again.
Yes.
So that looting and relooting is something that we cannot conclude today until the end of this administration, before we know who relooted the one that you just mentioned that came from the US. So let's hang that one, Xavier, for now.
You know, we've not even, when you were giving me, the roll call, that's what I'll call it.
Yes.
Of all of the ministers,
Ministers,
you
yes.
know, in Buhari's regime that actually, took things for the family. You didn't mention Gige.
Yeah, Ngige is the recent one. Ngige is also there.
But Mr. Lawa, I have never seen a man that is, full of confidence like that of Sirika. You are lying to 200 and something million
yes.
people, and he never, felt like maybe to feel threats to an extent, or to even, shake a little. No, he came out, he lied to us, and he was not bothered. He told us, he said, before
the end of that administration,
Buhari's
administration, Nigeria was going to be on air.
And we saw it.
That was,
the airline landed. There was a crosswater, the crosswater,
unveiling. Even president came and caught
the ribbon. I was surprised.
Then those people are still working free in this.
And the funny part is that, sincerely, I must confess here, I was waiting for them to open up, their bookings. I just wanted to book that flight from Lagos to Abuja back to Lagos. For me to just even enjoy
Nigeria once
airline.
again.
Once again. And guess what? After like few weeks,
it was not even the second day. They just started lying to us.
Like between 3 days, whatever they said, they took it for maintenance. I don't understand. In new flights, and you said, and next thing, Ethiopian Airlines released their statement.
Yes.
They rented it from us.
And they used Nigeria money to paint it. You know what it takes to paint an aircraft? It's still working free. It's working free.
With air,
it's working free without brazenness.
Sincerely, I don't think we can be done with this review.
No. That's why I said this 50-something you said that came from US. We cannot speak on it today. Until the end of this administration, we remind ourselves that we try to look at where this money went to. Sometimes in December 31st, 2025, but we could not know where it went to. But now it will be revealed. We will see where this.
So if the EFCC had not picked Malami, that means Malami would have successfully become the governor of Kebbi State.
Are you saying would have? Are you saying even with the picking of
even with the picking, he might still become the governor?
Yaya Bello. Listen, Yaya Bello
is going for Senate.
Yaya Bello that was declared wanted, that was hidden in the Kogi State government house and all that by his cousin he made governor. Is he not going for Senate now?
Of course, he's going to remove.
So if he's bailed out after the new year, by New Year now he's bailed out, and you start seeing his posters in all the streets in Kebbi State, and eventually do the abracadabra they normally do to get the executive power. Will he not become governor? Who stops him from being governor?
Okay,
forget about that.
I think we have to rest that particular one.
Let's rest it.
Okay, so we also had social issues, of course. Nationwide protests, smelled over rising costs, setting the tone for anti-government action. Later, of course, in the year. Insecurity also, affected banditry in the Northwest, intensified, with early reports of mass abduction and attacks on community. And of course, we were promised that the insecurity will reduce in January, if you remember.
Yes.
As at the time, in January, Northwest. But we didn't even know that it
was going to escalate.
It was spread out.
It was going to escalate and see more deaths.
It will even get to a point where the US would help us to drop some bombs.
Absolutely.
It got to a level, it became something like a business, an industry on its own. You know,
It was more lucrative than this job.
Tribal
It's
terrorism.
still an industry. as we
You know,
speak.
it's still an industry.
It's an
Still an
industry
industry.
on which they employ. They have all their equipment and everything. They
You know,
have
and sincerely, with due respect to one of the spokesperson of the president, you know, he was trying to buttress what this Oyedele guy, the tax guy,
Yeah.
you know, was talking about,
Taiwo
and
Oyedele.
how it would be seamless for people that does menial job on how they can, you know, pay their tax and it won't be difficult for them. And I was really disappointed when we heard, I think Dr. Anosike was here, it was one of the programs we did at Morning Boss, yes, and he said that even to prostitutes, meat sellers, and you know, what have you, they let them go through this particular article he has written. It will be easy for them to pay tax. So how did we get to a point where we are now recognizing, you know, prostitution as
a trade.
a trade in Nigeria?
A big
So why
one.
didn't they just mention the bandits also for them
the
to also pay
terrorists
tax?
now.
That's the next one that went.
That's
That's the next one.
now.
That's the next one that will enter the tax net.
legalized.
That's the
And-
next one that will enter the tax net.
Because that's where
Because
the money is.
the business surrounding banditry in Nigeria and terrorism
It's
Savior,
huge.
is bigger than what you and I can think of.
Yes.
We saw 100 and something, 300 and something children, you know, kidnapped and adopted. They were fed for 1 month.
Where did they get money from?
And the food.
How many government in Nigeria, local government can feed 200 people for a month? The local government. Conveniently, these children were taken care of. They had
Even your NSA Ribadu, he also came out to say that the children are doing very well.
Yes.
And I was thinking, did he go there to check like excursion and he came back? I don't know.
No, it was like an excursion. You can imagine they had where to sleep. That means there is accommodation. These children, ordinary pure water, provided for this number of children for the number of 1 month. Do you know the cost? I don't want to talk of food. They had clothing. It was not the clothes that they kidnapped them with that they stayed with all through the month. They changed. They took their baths throughout. Think of the soap and all
Apparently
that.
there is so much we do not understand about this.
That's a bigger business that we are going to probably is going to enter the tax net as soon as possible.
It's only in Nigeria that I see people who are kidnapped looking robust, looking.
Compared to you and I that we are free. And at some point you'll be asking yourself.
When you see their face, they look like everything is normal. How can you even if you take a child from his mother in your presence, the child will be crying. This one they look like they just went for excursion or maybe, you know, terrorism.
It's quite a serious one. But, you know, because we're actually moving with time, let's move to February. Of course, the security situation, you know, got even worse. Of course, it got even worse. And we got the security alert, which actually warned for, as regards to the Boko Haram, you know, banditry, which continued, and it claimed lives. And of course, we called for military, more military operation, which to an extent, you know, we got, and it did what it could do. And afterwards, we were still going through that same insecurity thing, which we already talked about here. And today, the insecurity situation is still there around the corner. In as much as some people are still saying that the US actually assisted us, you know, on the 25th of this year, this month, you know. But some people are actually saying, are we really sure that they actually hit the target? But I was with you, I think on Monday, and you showed me some footages. Yes,
okay.
that's what's released. Okay, let's move to economy. You know, the Naira has stabilized somewhat after reforms, but of course, the food issue was still there. The inflation hovered around, they said 30%, affecting urban and rural household, but we were seeing it like it was not 30%, just like you explained. The 30% was, you know, much. And I want to get us to where the president actually told us that it will become a thing of the past, education. University faced funding shortfalls, you know, leading to threats of strikes by academic staff union, you know, of universities, you know. And of course, the president actually promised that any international strike would be a thing of the past. So what happened? I think finally they've successfully signed
Yes, yeah, recently.
the 2009 agreement.
Agreement, yeah.
And of course, in February also,
Even before the signing, there were some
President,
strikes.
Tinubu approved amendments to 2025 appropriation bill focusing on infrastructure. So I'd like you to take it, simultaneously. Did they really do anything as regards to the educational sector? And how many infrastructure?
No.
Really?
Even after this strike came,
Yes.
there were some strike from ASU this year. So this promise here did not really fly as expected. So it is from this. I think they signed this about a month ago that will now begin to look
I
at
think it's in December.
whether
Early December.
subsequently they will actually, fulfill the promises so that we'll not go back. But this was a failed promise. This promise never worked, never fly.
And another thing with Nigerian government is this: they can promise, but the question is, will they fulfill it? We have not looked at that area. There has been cases like this with ASU in which the government will say we have agreed, and the ASU will say that they didn't implement it. It's not new. So this one they are agreeing. We hope that the government will implement it. But there are two things to it, not one.
Okay.
The first one is we pray government will implement it. The second one is what about the tax that is coming in? Will they not take the money back? Because they talk about increase in their salary. By the time you bring the new tax in, will they not take the money back? And they also will now discover that the government has taken most of the money they gave them back, and they want to go on strike again. Do you understand? Because they are negotiating based on the past tax reform, not the new one that is coming
beginning tomorrow.
Yes, beginning tomorrow. So by the time they start taxing people now, you are going to see another complaint that is coming up. You are hearing something like 15% tax, 23%, depending on what you are earning. Now you have increased their money. When you increase their money, it gets to the threshold which you need to tax them 23%. Well, have you not taken back what you have? Because the government gave them 40%, I think, increment. And if you tax 23 out of it, are you getting up? Because
what is really happening in this country?
It's give and take back.
So I'm sorry to say, it would have been better you don't give at all than for you to give.
Instead of them to focus on inflation, bring down inflation, let it be available for us based on what you have. You had more money, inflation increases. What is the benefit of
this was the situation of this tax issue? And I keep asking this question. What have they done with all of the tax we've been paying?
No, start with fuel subsidy.
Removal of fuel subsidy. The removal of 2.5 years now, fuel subsidy is gone. What have we benefited as Nigerians from it? The only thing that we have benefited is the hardship that it has brought so much on families. So no other thing.
Now, President Tinubu approved amendment bill to 2025 appropriation bill focusing on infrastructure. Can we actually talk about?
Is it not the appropriation bill that they said 2025? We have not even started implementing it.
That's what I'm surprised about. 2025
is it not over? That bill that was President Tinubu that he said it has been approved. We have not even implemented it.
And now they are talking about another consolidation of 2026.
So that was another failure.
So how many infrastructure can we really look at?
See, when you say infrastructure, which is deceitful to me. When you use the word infrastructure,
that's the word.
That's why I said
I'm not the one.
That's why I said to me, the word is. You know why I said it's deceitful.
Yeah.
Where is the infrastructure? You are not pinpointing what you want to do. You say infrastructure.
But that's the president. He said it.
That's why I said it. To me, why the time you mention the government mention infrastructure is deceitful. You need to tell us, pinpoint what you want to do. Tell us what you want to spend, and then we monitor the project. You get
they can mention Calabar.
Do you know the number of issues on that Calabar road?
Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway is not in the budget. They have what they call Renew Hope Initiative Fund that they are drawing from. It was not appropriated for. Remember, it was an issue.
Okay.
And if you are talking of infrastructure, Mr. Lawal, let me remind you, 47 kilometers has been commissioned in Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway. And within the commissioning of that 47, it has been inaugurated. It's been commissioned 3 times. And remember all the fanfare that followed it. The last one was just this one that was done in December. That they opened it.
Yeah.
We saw the president came first time, second time. It was only this December now that they finally opened it. Now that I didn't see the president there. but they have opened in 47 kilometers, so that's infrastructure. Then remember that
Incomplete.
out of 700 kilometers.
That's actually serious satire there.
That's infrastructure.
Yes.
Then we also have Sokoto Badagry.
That one too is not complete.
We have not had any 1 kilometer, commission in that one yet. So that one is also ongoing.
So are you saying the government have actually failed as regards to infrastructure in Nigeria?
No, which one will you mention? I've only mentioned the one that we know of. Which other one? We only see the Minister for Works talking about a Third Mainland Bridge all the time. They are doing some job in Third Mainland Bridge.
We are even afraid
because we have also seen that they've repented the Third Mainland Bridge, surfaced it, repented it, and they put solar.
They even repented this one.
Solar traffic light. This is our airport road.
Yes.
These are U-tide painting. At least so. President is in Lagos, so he has to decorate Lagos to make it good.
Okay,
so that's it.
Let us move to March, where another drama actually happened.
One of the biggest.
One of the biggest, which I love, okay, and which is really going on presently.
It's still going on even at the moment.
Let's move to March. State of emergency, of course, and the political crisis. President Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State on March 18th. Suspending Governor Siminalayi Fubara amid JP crisis. This became one of the year's biggest political showdown, involving assembly sagas and mass defection to APC. So, gentlemen of the press, some people were actually saying that the president, was not meant to, and some said it was not in his rights, to actually declare such, and some even related it to, as at the time, Obasanjo was in power. He declared the same thing to Jos.
Ekiti and Plateau State.
Yeah, Plateau State, yes. So, and basically, our question, was it right or not?
Well, we can't say whether it is right or wrong now, because the Supreme Court...
Depriving the people of...
the Supreme Court has just said the president was right.
Okay.
That's the judgment that just came about 2 weeks ago, a week ago. So, all that debate, as at that time it happened, the Supreme Court just put a remark to it now, lay it to rest, that, he has the power to declare state of emergency.
Under what condition? That's what people are saying.
The condition, they gave us condition that time that security of life and property were threatened in Rivers State. That there were plans to start vandalizing oil pipelines, and that was sabotage. That will bring sabotage to the government. So all these are some of the things that led to Fubara being removed from the office. But the Rivers people will tell you that there was no insecurity. Nigerians will tell you there was no insecurity in Rivers State. So, but he brought in a Rear Admiral Iboete, and Nigerians were thinking, probably the man will do 3 months or do 2 months. The president will bring back the democratically elected governor. But at the end of the day, we saw that he stayed for 6 months before we were even...
But Fubara praised him.
We were even being apprehensive whether Fubara would be brought back again.
No, Fubara praised him. Fubara said that as at the time he left office, when he was suspended, that he left 300 billion naira in Rivers State purse. But when he came back after 6 months, he met 600. So that means, I don't know what Iboete did, Ibas did for that 6 months, that Rivers State got 600, 300 extra. So we should be asking Fubara
in 6 months.
In 6 months,
billion.
That we should be having how much now?
How did he 600? What did he do?
Fubara needs to even do more. If
do you know there was a lot
if an emergency government can actually get 300 in 6 months, then you as a governor you should be able to get more.
6 months times. How many times you leave office? Do you know there was a lot of controversy when the man was leaving? That they even said he should present what he did.
And he said he was not answerable to anybody.
His scorecard.
He said he was not answerable to anybody.
He only answered to the president. He only answered to the...
Yes, because he's still a military man.
You see, even the military man, even the president, is subjected to the law of the land. So I don't know where he got his own.
He was sent there by the higher authority, the commander-in-chief.
That's why the Nigerians are saying that it's illegal, because if you say you don't answer to the reps, then on whose authority, on which constitution, I'm not saying authority now,
Okay.
which constitution put you in that office?
The commander-in-chief.
Not the hell.
but we saw we saw the National Assembly approved it.
Yes, National Assembly actually
gave him the power to go to Rivers.
No, what they did was that they actually tried to patch things so that there
There's
will
not
not be
like patch
crisis.
things. They did a voice vote, and
I'm not talking about. See, I'm not talking about the vote.
Okay.
You know, somebody is already there. You are now doing vote. You know, that we call it. If it's education, we call it crash program. You know, you are doing crash program for the situation. Now, I'm talking about when you go to the office. Which constitution put you in that office?
Okay, even afterwards, we are talking about accountability. At least
So
there's somebody should be
you must be accountable. You must be accountable
You know,
to some to a
but
constitution.
in all what we are talking about this afternoon, what did the Supreme Court say?
Even apart, even
Gave him a clean bill
what I'm
and
saying,
gave the government a clean bill.
I'm not talking even
all
apart
those
from
one,
the
all we are
constitution.
discussing now is academic exercise.
No. That is different. I'm not talking about whether the emergency rule is legal or illegal. We are talking about who do you answer to, because a constitution must be there for you. If the National Assembly now, make a law for you, that means you answer to the National Assembly. If they call you to come in and give accountability, you need to give it to them. You are not saying no. The same people who eventually voted and approved your office. You are not telling them that you don't answer to them. Then that's why I ask.
Okay.
Which constitution are you using to be so? Because if somebody
But I
tells you to,
answered you. I said the commander-in-chief constitution. I think that would be
if you are getting aggrieved, what followed? You became an ambassador.
which means yes, look at another thing again.
He has been rewarded for a good.
To let you know that he's following the right. To let you know that he's following the right constitution. What are you saying?
He got rewarded for a well-done job. So let's leave academic.
Didn't you see your? Didn't you see your former INEC chairman?
Wait, I am not talking about the academic. Look at Malami now.
Okay.
After his office, he is out. He's facing EFCC.
And after here, he will become the governor.
Or he will even become an ambassador or even president. Anyway, but for now, he's facing the SEC. Now, the same person here, this sole administrator of this thing, as he spent some money, he collected money, he spent money, and they told you that based on the money you collected and spent, can you present an account for that, for audit? And I said, I don't answer to you. You get what I'm saying?
And I just answered you that it cannot answer everybody.
This is not whether
just like when Mr.
This is the money you spend.
Just like when Mr. Elvis was also telling us that why should we say that we didn't see infrastructure? That didn't we see? He mentioned names and he mentioned
40 kilometers.
Yes.
Several.
So if he had mentioned it, so I am telling it to you. I am not learned, I'm lettered, and I am putting it to you under Subsection 5, Paragraph 8 of no constitution. That
no constitution.
that the man committed under
he got rewarded.
Commander-in-chief of Armed Forces.
Yes, so they leave it. He's a military man. Why should he come to civilians to come and be telling you how he spent?
But why did they now take his case to the assembly for law for them to deliberate on? They shouldn't have done that.
We won't go to April because of our time. We won't go to April, but I want us to look at the other side of the emergency rule. It was about, the saga between Wike and his boy.
Yeah.
And today, they are still, at loggerheads.
Going back to the trenches.
Going back,
they are about going back where they are not there yet.
Yes, but they are going back to, where it all started from.
The bout again.
So, so, and Wike said something. He said it is in January we will start playing politics.
Yes. The politicking.
Meaning is about to start a fresh
another bout.
A fresh one.
Yeah, we saw the rallies. He came down from Port Harcourt to Port
and
River.
today alone, he went to a symposium organized for Renewed Hope a group. He went there, he spoke against the governor who should have been, or who is the head, or the leader of the party of APC
in the state,
in that particular state. So, what can people say about
the good thing now, Saviour, is that the drumbeat is changing gradually. Wike and the governor Fubara, they are no more in the same party as we speak. Yeah. So that's one dramatic change that's taking place recently. Now, if there is any infraction in Rivers, that means it is coming under the umbrella of the ruling party, APC, no longer PDP. And the leader of APC, as far as Nigeria is concerned, is the sitting president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu.
Yes.
So it is now left for him to call Fubara and say, what is going on with our party in your state? And Fubara now has a better access to see the president direct now. It used to be when he was in PDP. So all I'm seeing Wike doing around, Wike has no political party as we speak. He's been expelled in PDP.
Yeah, you also expelled the PDP people.
And he has not told us that he has joined APC. So if he joins APC today, he's going to queue behind Fubara. Because the law of APC is that the governor of the state is the leader of that political party.
I don't think it's just an APC thing. It's generally
no, but
party, yes.
For now, they are the ruling party. So if he decides to join today, he will be behind Fubara. Let him drop his ego and tell Nigerians, I am now a member of APC.
He said if he joins,
nobody will celebrate.
He said if he leaves PDP to the PDP will die.
No, I mean PDP.
But they expelled him now.
PDP has expelled him.
Why didn't he go? Why didn't he go?
He's still in PDP. He has also expelled them. So everybody's on the discussion.
You can see that
PDP has a new leadership that is, managing the affairs of PDP as we speak. He is talking from the fringes because he has been expelled.
So do you think Wike has actually lost his political calculations?
At the moment, he has no political party. And when you don't have a political party in Nigeria, there's no independent candidate.
I think the thing is this. He's in a dilemma. Do you know the dilemma? Now, when Fubara was in PDP, it's easy to center his guns at him and begin to shoot. Now, on behalf of the ruling party, now that Fubara has become to APC, that gun cannot face him anymore. Now, you are now in between. You can't decamp quickly to APC. The moment you decamp to APC, PDP will set itself and then will produce that presidential candidate that they told you to remain there and prevent. So you need to remain in PDP. You want to keep an eye on APC. Now, the person you are shooting the gun at is already the head of the APC in that party. Now you are in between. If you decamp, you can be able to get some kind of hold on him in that party because you'll be in the same party. But if you decamp, PDP will be free. When they are free, they will want to settle themselves and present the presidential candidate.
Okay.
Now you are now in a dilemma. So he's in between fighting two battles.
All right.
Whether he decamps to APC or not, PDP will present a presidential candidate.
Okay.
The law has already been expelled.
All right. So since we are, of course, pressed for time and we should be leaving now, but I would just like to get your take. Obi just defected.
Yeah, it's one of the events that major event.
Today, since we decided to do review, so that's not our topic. So, but what's your take?
As far as I'm concerned, it's no longer news. But I would have preferred Obi, finding a way to settle with Labour Party. Where is it the camp? Has it been?
We don't know if he has been promised.
That is where I was going, because I don't. If Obi is promised that if you decamp, you're going to get the ticket, I will applaud him. But if Obi is decamping, I don't know, because Atiku Abubakar is going for that same ticket. Obi will not get it. Obi doesn't have the financial muscle. Obi cannot struggle with Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar cannot set up a political party and hand it over to Obi.
Even give them his building.
And we just saw his aides telling Nigerians that Atiku Abubakar will contest 2027 general election. So as Obi finally settled, is he trying to settle for VP, which he has told Nigerians that he has moved around the world seeing leaders, and he cannot use his movement seeing presidents of the world to come and become a vice president to somebody else. So let's watch. Probably there is a promise that if you come in, Atiku Abubakar will become an elder statesman and he will give you that.
My own is this, that the campaign to me is good for him. If he decamps to as decamp to ADC, it's good for him. Because if you remain in Labour, you get it. In fact, you will live if they will disgrace him there, you'll be disgraced. Because many of the people in Labour will decamp to ADC.
Okay.
That is for sure. So that Labour will drop drastically. Second, there's a battle in Labour. They are waiting for him. The moment he settled down in Labour, they will finish him off.
Okay.
You get it?
Thank you so much.
Where he has gone, even if he become vice, I know there's a game plan in between that they don't want Nigerians to know. He may eventually come back to become the vice.
Okay.
But it's going to work for him in future. This ADC will work for him in future. You know why? because this is a structure and they want to be as big as PDP when we started this new democracy.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawa, for being part of the show. I would have wished that we all continue the review together for tomorrow and Friday, but we never can tell. Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis. This is actually, a very fresh episode, and we'll be having something like this, of course, sometime next year also. The views and opinion expressed by our analysts, of course, are solely their own and do not reflect that of VOP Media. If you love the world of sport, I would like you to stay put to enjoy Locker Room. Yes. Don't give up because it is not over. Tough time doesn't last. But tough people do last. Whatsoever you're facing will soon be over, and you will definitely smile again. My name remains Xavier Udo. Have a good evening, rest, and Happy New Year in advance.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms.